Do you get a lot of pain, tightness, or even weakness on the outside of your hip here? Then your glute medius may be your problem. In this video, I'm going to run the glute medius muscle through my proven functional mobility formula, where I teach you a simple and very effective way to not only loosen up that hip tension, but also train these muscles so you can hold on to these changes for long periods of time. So let's dive in. So there's 4 R's in the functional mobility formula, and that first R stands for recognize. So we want to do 2 things here. First, recognize where our symptoms are. If it's your glute med, it's typically going to be right on the side of the hip in this area. And secondarily, we want to recognize a couple baseline tests. So if we're dealing with a glute med issue, do you get any discomfort when squatting, lunging, or do you feel discomfort when doing hip abduction? Or do you feel super weak? If so, then your glute medius might be your problem. And if it is, then let me show you the first move to help reduce tension in this area. So the second R stands for reduce tension. Specifically, we're going to reduce that glute medius muscle tension. So what you're going to do is start in a side lying position. So if I'm lying on my side here, what I'm going to do is prop up to my elbows. And first, I'm just going to see if I feel any tension on this bottom side hip. If you're really tight, you might already feel a tugging in that glute medius muscle. But if you don't feel anything yet, the next step is bringing it up to that full hand position. Now I feel a big stretch through the side of my hip here, and I can tell I'm starting to stretch out that glute medius muscle. If you have a ton of tension here, then you would just simply hold this for 30 to 45 seconds. If you don't feel a ton of tension, then you can slowly prop yourself up higher and higher, and as long as this leg is pinned and you're stretching from the top, you're going to start to hit that muscle. But there'll be a few of you sickos that don't feel much of a stretch here. So for extra credit, if you have a ball, this is a lacrosse ball, you can use a tennis ball, golf ball at home. If you feel that bony protrusion on the side of your hip, you're going to put the ball just superior or just above it, and then you're going to roll over onto your side, and then you're just going to try to seek and destroy that tight spot, which I already found one here. So I'm just going to park it until that volume knob starts to come down. Might take anywhere between 30 to 45 seconds. And if after, say, 10 seconds, it's already starting to decrease, then you would start to come up even higher. So you're pinning and stretching that muscle at the same time. And then if you really found that tight spot, you're just going to channel your inner zen and think about breathing into that ball pressure. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And as I breathe out, I'm trying to see if I can elongate further so then I can really feel that enhanced stretch. And of course, if you have too tight sides, don't discriminate. Again, find that trochanter, that bony protrusion, ball goes right above it. Ooh, I already feel a spot here. And then slowly roll your body weight over the top. And for me, this is plenty. So I'm just gonna hold this position until I feel that volume knob starting to turn down. If it doesn't turn down, that's totally fine. Just hold it for a good 30 to 45 seconds. But if it's starting to decrease, that's where you want to start to elongate the tissue even more by bringing your body up higher. If you're real advanced while you're here, you can slowly start to roll through and just try to seek and destroy all those tight spots. After a few tears, my hips feel looser and I'm ready to move on. So the next step is restore. Specifically, we're going to restore joint range of motion. So we're going to get back in this side lying position. And once we're here, we're going to do some hip adduction liftoffs. So I'm going to be training my bottom side leg here, and I'll show it from the other angle in a second here. But you're going to think about driving this foot towards the ceiling, and you should feel that adductor muscle engage. And what we're trying to do here is not just train our adductor muscles, but as we're going into this adduction range of motion, we're elongating those tissues that we just worked. And as we use our adductor muscles, we can get that natural inhibition of the opposite muscle group, which will help it relax even more while we restore this joint range of motion. I'm gonna do a solid 10 or 15 of these until I really feel those adductors working. And then I'm gonna move on to the other side. So I'm bringing my top knee down, pinning it for support, and then I'm just driving this bottom foot towards the ground, really feeling the groin / adductor muscles working here after I just elongated that opposite muscle group with the previous movement. So again, doing a 10 to 15 here, and I'm really trying to go as high as I can, just moving through that hip joint. And if this is too easy for you, you can bring it up to your forearm. So now I'm not going as high because I'm more adducted because my trunk is up now, but I'm still just trying to carve out as much of that adduction range of motion as possible here. And this looks simple, but trust me, you're gonna be feeling this sucker by the end of that 10 to 15 reps. After the first two moves, my hips feel looser, feel like I got some blood flow to this area, but there is one more move we need to do to really solidify these changes. So the fourth and final R is reinforce. So we're gonna reinforce the changes we just made with a great strength and stability exercise. So for this next move, we technically don't need any equipment, but I'm gonna show you the advanced version with a loop band first. So if you have a loop band, I'd go with the lightest resistance you have. Trust me, what I'm about to show you is gonna humble you, and you're gonna put that loop band right above your knees. And then we're gonna get into this low oblique sit position, and we're not gonna do your grandma clamshell exercises here. What we're gonna do is a DNS star plank. So first I'm gonna pack my shoulder nice and tight, and then I'm going to drive my bottom knee into the ground to bring my hips up. And level one here would just be holding this position for a good 20 to 30 seconds. Doesn't seem like long, but trust me, once you're here, you're gonna start shaking like the dickens, and you're gonna really feel that bottom side hip roasting, specifically that glute med muscle. Now, if you get bored of holding positions like I do, we can make this a little bit more dynamic. So we can start to add some trunk rotations where we're thinking about being like a rotisserie chicken, rotating towards the floor, and then you're gonna really drive that bottom knee into the ground to bring your trunk back open like this. And if you could do these rotations, you're only gonna do about 5 to 6 of these. Turtle wins the race here, so you don't wanna rush through this. You really wanna feel this bottom side hip roasting. Just after doing 3 of those, I'm already a little bit winded. And if you didn't have a loop band, you could simply do the same thing without it. But if you have that loop band, trust me, it's gonna help you feel that glute even more. So from the other angle, I'm in this low oblique sit, drive that knee to bring my hips up. And then once I'm in this star plank, again, level one would just be holding this for that 20 to 30 seconds. Or if you're real adventurous, we can start to add that rotation. And if you could tell, I'm only rotating my trunk here. So my bottom leg and arm aren't moving at all. It's all trying to control that body weight with that nice closed chain movement there. Just after those 3 moves, my hips feeling even looser, feel like I got some nice blood flow, but we're not done just yet. So there is a bonus R, and that bonus R stands for reassess. So if you're sick of doing random exercises or stretches you see on the gram, then we need to reassess our body, especially after this routine, to see if we're getting the desired results. So if you remember at the beginning, we recognized 2 things. First, where our symptoms are. So if you had a lot of pain, tension, or weakness on the outside of your hip here, if so, great, then you know this is a really good routine. But if your symptoms still feel about the same, but if you remember secondarily, we recognize some baseline movements that poked at our symptoms. So after this routine, can you squat easier without any discomfort? Do you feel more stable in your lunges? Or do you feel better activation and less pinching when doing this hip abduction movement? If yes, then you know this is a really great routine for you, because the most important thing is improving the function. And I'd argue that's more important than decreasing your symptoms, especially at the beginning. Why is that? Well, let's think about it. If we improve the function of our body, so let's say we can do more activities, we feel stronger without it poking at our pain or our symptoms, then you can do more of the activities you love without setting off your pain alarm. And the less you set off your pain alarm and improve your function, eventually that volume knob is going to start turning down, especially if you do this routine consistently. So if this routine helped you, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you have another muscle, joint, nerve, or any other tissue that you're struggling with, let